Greetings, welcome back to another edition of the Friday 13th YouTube channel. Today you're going to be watching an interview with Alex Krull from the band Atrocity. Now Atrocity are about to release their new album on Massacre Records called Okkult 3, which is a fantastic, brutal, heavy death metal album. It's really well worth checking out. So, thanks to Alex for doing this interview, much appreciate it. Speak to you also Metalheads and enjoy the interview. Please share on social media where you can. Thanks for watching Metalheads, be safe. How are you? Happy New Year!
I'm fine. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Happy New Year.
Yeah, same here. I hope you had a good ride into 2023.
So, Alex, I'd like to thank you for doing this interview for Friday 13th again. Last year we spoke about the EP. Just tell me how successful the EP was for you.
Well, the thing is that we had like a couple of advanced videos. You mean that, right? Desecration of God, Born to Kill, Malicious Succubus, and Faces from Beyond.
No, you
And
did. You did that EP, didn't you? It was like leftovers from the second album. We talked about that last year. Do you remember?
You mean the from the yeah, okay. The unspoken
Yeah,
names.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
So,
sorry. Yeah, I'm confused. I was thinking we were talking about Occult Free.
no, no.
Yeah, sure. That was also, yeah, very nice because we had to dig out some treasures from back of the day when we or the days when we were doing the Todessehnsucht demos, and yeah, we never released the full thing, so that was something we could bring up, and I think it was almost immediately sold out. Maybe there are some copies left, but it went really well.
Was it released on CD and vinyl, or was it just CD?
Well, I think that it was actually planned as a vinyl release, and I think on top of it was also a CD.
Right. So it sold really well for you, more than you expected.
The thing is, like this special releases or re-releases as well. Like we had like Todessehnsucht celebration, right? So last year, and there was like this kind of hallucinations we release as well just before, and on vinyl, and the people just love to get those, especially if they would not have the originals. So yeah, it goes with this really good. I think it's collector's items. It's not so many you press them. It's rare. It's limited. That is also for the fans a great item to get. Like, for us it's a gift. Things like that can happen.
Right, and so were those releases released on like coloured vinyl, splatter vinyl, or was it just black vinyl?
No, I think they had several different colors. I'm not sure about the unspoken names because with the corona, all this trouble were going on with pressing vinyl, like splatter vinyl, and all these kinds of very special colored vinyl was really stressful to get in time also. So we chose colors, but not like the ones you have to wait for 1 year or something. It doesn't make sense. That is really a problem since the corona times, that like delivery chains are very slow with everything, especially with the vinyl. It was a huge problem. I think now it's getting better again. But again, with this splatter vinyl and all this very special editions with colored vinyl, I think it's still tricky.
Right,
But
okay
like
then.
red or blue and green, and there are some cool colors. I think for hallucinations it was like ox blood color. I like that the best because it fits very cool to the HR Giga cover artwork. There were a white vinyl or a transparent vinyl and stuff like that. That's all possible.
Yeah, maybe she
But
do
some
one. Maybe she
others,
do one
it
for
just
Glut. Glut would be a good album to have a nice splatter colour.
that's true. I mean, we get more and more requests about the back catalog should be re-released as vinyl editions or special CD releases as well. And yeah, we will see what comes next. I mean, with Todessehnsucht, that was like something a lot of fans were requesting.
Yeah, I need that CD because it's real hard to get hold of on CD. I just need a copy of that because it's a great album.
Yeah, I think in the Atrocity shop we might still have some of those. The thing is, yeah, I think there you can still get it. There was a re-release from the Roadrunner collectors or something like that.
Was that re-released on Metal Mind? I think it was.
Yeah, Metal Mind, exactly. They were doing the Roadrunner collectors re-releases, something like that. It was like a thing they did with plenty bands, and the Todessehnsucht album was one of that.
Right,
so I was just thinking how it was called, but anyway, so that you can still get at the Atrocity show, but the original is. It's hard to get. It's gone. For
yeah,
sure.
I've got the original Hallucinations on Nuclear Blast.
Yeah.
That actually stand by you guys.
That's awesome. I mean, the thing is with these releases, when they came out, CD was the new thing, so to say, and all that. And nowadays a lot of people, they want to get the vinyl instead.
You know, I'm not a big fan of vinyl, to be honest with you, Alex. I prefer CDs. I think vinyl's too big. It looks great, big, but it just takes up too much room.
That's also true. Yeah, it depends what you want, right? But a lot of people, they have already the CD. They were nowadays they ask for the vinyl on top of that, which is for me, I'm absolutely fine that people buying the physical products and all that. It's for us, the metal bands, also an advantage because the whole thing with digital releases and streaming and all that. I don't know. It's like in the Wild West, You don't know where it all goes. You don't know what you get. It's a little bit something also annoying in a way. That people, whoever earns with that, seem to think at the last on the artists at the end, and that's also something in the bands they need a support to survive, especially now when the Corona times were hitting so hard the live market. So and still tours are affected by the energy crisis and stuff like that, festivals, and we're going through rough times with like in the music industry in general. And I think it's really good that the metal community, the metal family, is supporting the bands, and that's the best way to do. Like support bands getting their albums and all this helps a lot. Also the merchandise, everything.
Yeah. So since we last spoke, Alex, has your opinion changed on your favorite album of the past albums you've done with Atrocity? Have you still got the same favorite album that you've done in the past, or have you changed? Have you got a new favorite now?
I don't know. That's very hard to ask about the favorite album. It's like you ask your father or a parent about the favorite kids.
Yeah.
If they have more children. I think for every album we always did the best. We always tried to go to the max and taking a challenge and bring the band to a new level. All that. And the Okkult trilogy, for example, is a perfect example for that. As it started a decade ago, and we were not planning that it will be so long, but it has so much inside, a huge range of musical variety, and also the lyrics, like a lot of topics, and they all under the name Okkult. So that is also something. Let's see how I will look back in whatever 5 years, looking back on this big work. And I think like the new album Okkult 3, it's for me, of course, it's a fresh album, and we are very excited. It's coming out in a couple of days, and the videos, all that. It's a great package. I think it's one of the best things we ever did.
Yeah, I have to agree on that. So when you look back at the Okkult 1 and number 2. How would you see this new album as a progression from the first two?
If you want to say so, that was actually also the plan that each album should be also having individual character or trademark, so to say. Maybe the first one has the most symphonic element, still on the brutal side and in the dark and evil topics, so to say. And the Okkult 2, we had already very edgy riffs and stuff like it was also a very brutal album, but we had also like choirs there, like as a contrast. And the new one is probably the most heavy one. It's very guitar oriented. It's having monster riffs on, and that is also on purpose. When we were writing the songs, for me it was very clear. The last album of the three, it has to be like the final punch in your face.
Yeah.
You end the trilogy, you want to have the most heavy record, of course.
So how do you think you're going to better this for the next album now you've done such a brutal album? Do you think you can top it?
Well, that's always the question. You can top something what you did before. Well, let's see what comes next. Okay. In the moment, we are like in the Okkult 3, so to say, phase, or in the era also with playing live shows. It's just starting, and it will also last for a while, as we have like still the treasure hunt going on. Should not forget about this. And this is timeless. We don't know when people are going to find the songs like on this golden CD. That will always follow us. Like the first treasure hunt is not even over yet, so we have to see. There are two more to come. So,
you mentioned that to me last time about this treasure hunt. And what's going on with it? How's it getting on?
It's going through 6 European countries. So there is also a Facebook group, and people, they exchange stuff. But then something happened that I think people wanted to go for themselves individually, instead of working together to find that thing. So that was a little bit the idea behind. Let's see. I don't know if it was found yet. I have to check it myself. And when I find time, I will find out. And then the next one will start.
I never actually thought of doing that treasure hunt. I could have done it when I was on tour with Anvil. I was up there for 3 months.
It would be the perfect surrounding to do that, yes.
I never thought, maybe next time. So you've got the Okkult, but it's spelt with 2 Ks instead of 2 Cs. Why 2 Ks?
Yeah, in German, it's a German title. It's Okkult is German.
Right, so
it's also English, all right? So
yeah, but you spelt it with you spelt it with 2 Ks as opposed to 2 Cs. Why?
Yeah, as we have like other German titles like Blut or Todessehnsucht, Willenskraft, Work 80, it's Werk 80. So we chose the German spelling. I thought like it fits very good to the topic as well. Right. And on each album we also have like a German song. So yeah, there's a little bit some of that connection as well.
But bit of tongue in cheek, basically.
Sorry, the what?
Bit of tongue in cheek.
Yeah, so to say. But the thing is, with I think also like with the logo we have, like Stefan Heilemann, the graphic guy who designed also Okkult logo. It's made from the letters. The K, they fit the best. So they fitting the best in the logo as well. So if you look at the Okkult logo we have, so they fit perfectly in. So that it's another good reason to pick it that way.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you about the album. The mastering and mixing was done by yourself. Did you produce the album as well?
Yeah, sure. We did it here at Master Sound Studio. I work also for other bands, and producing Atrocity albums. Not ever since. First one was done by Scott Burns, but then almost everything coming afterwards, I was also producing.
You must be saving a lot of money having your own studio, a lot of time as well. You don't have to feel pressured because you've got your own studio. Yeah,
that you could think so, but on the other side, you also have to see, it's also big effort behind to have like a real studio. It's not like a home recording or something like that. So it's much more. We have the advantage, and that was also at the Corona times an advantage. We could do the Leaves Eyes album when other bands couldn't go anywhere else. And the same was with the Okkult 3 album. And there were some times we could only work with 2 people inside here because it was not allowed to meet with more people, if you remember. So yeah. I think it was the same in the UK. So in that case, it was a good advantage for us to work like this. And in general, for us, it's good that we can, for the songwriting, all that have also already very proper sounding, or we have like a setup which we can work with perfectly. So that's absolutely great. But on the other side, if somebody is not into studio technique and all that, and it's just a musician, that's not the right thing. But for me, I was always interested I was studying audio engineering as well in Munich back then. So that is something I like to do, and it's also my work as a music producer for other artists as well.
Right then, so how long did it...
Yeah, that comes together.
So how long did it take to record this album then, Alex, with the COVID?
Yeah, the recording and producing and all that, it was going hand in hand, so to say. I think we were writing songs, something like 2 years ago. We had ideas already in the pocket, but then we started again from the scratch with a lot of things. So we took our time, as it was the time to do it. There was not any tour and there was no festival, nothing was going on. And still for us, it was not very good this year because I got Corona in the summer and the festival we should have played, we couldn't. And also the other ones were in Russia. And that is also clear. We couldn't play there as well.
Right then. So, the album's got like 10 songs and you've got like 10 instrumentals. Why did you decide to do it as an instrumental as part 2, like 2-discer?
The thing is we have like the so-called regular bonus tracks, only unique on a golden CD. Remind you now, next door, you have to go and find it. So we were like thinking already on the last album, maybe it's a good idea to have the instrumental versions. I like them personally. Also, I work with them with video trailers and stuff like that. But also, you can hear a lot of the details going on without the vocals. And if somebody wants to do, you can do some karaoke versions too.
I do understand by talking to old musicians in the past to say if you put headphones on, you can hear certain things that you can't hear when you play it through your speakers.
Yeah, that's for sure also an album like that to dive into. And also we did that with the Leaves Eyes record as well. And a lot of people were amazed what details they can find with the music and with the production, all that. And I think that is something for people who are really into the music and all that. They can experience also, the album in another way.
Yeah, I guess playing guitar, you can also learn to play the songs because you've got the vocals to distract you. That could be a possibility.
Well, yeah, that's another thing, maybe, yes. But like I said, do some karaoke versions and post them, anybody, and just post them on our social medias.
Right then, so you've got like 10 songs.
It'd be great to hear it.
Oh yeah, so you got like 10 songs, Alex. Could you just tell me what the songs are about briefly, like Dissensions of God, the Desecration of God?
Yeah, okay, Desecration of God. To sum it up in a very short way, in the mythology or in religion, Asmodeus is like the worst of all demons. And, for example, in Christian beliefs, they were always afraid because, with the whole thing with sex and lust and all that, he's like the demon possesses people with, and people leaving their path. The reality is also that the religion was always afraid that other things could attract people more than these beliefs they have, or their rules what they have. So, it's like the pagan rituals are celebrated by the guys who worship that Asmodeus philosophy. So you can sum it up a little bit like that. It's also for the freedom of the spirit, that people have their own freedom, and not some rules are putting you on chains.
Right then,
That is also the way the song has to be interpreted. There are some background stories in history when, for example, in a monastery, a priest was accused that all the nuns from the monastery, he would have been seduced and and having interaction with them, and because he was like possessed by Asmodeus.
okay.
And that it was always the kind of excuse for certain things when things were happening, or if they want to take somebody out, for political reasons. That was a good reason in the church, for example, to use that card.
Okay then. So we've got the next song. We've got Fire Ignites.
Yeah, Fire Ignites, actually a little bit sad, as this becomes reality at the moment. When we were writing the song, it's like the dark shadows when people bring mankind on the cliff, so to say, by war and in all the madness connected. And indeed, it is like a prophecy. If you read the song, the lyrics of the song, and if you have that whole soundtrack to the end of the world, here we go. That couldn't be like more suitable. Crazy times demand crazy music, right?
Yeah, true, definitely. And then you got Born to Kill.
Born to Kill is actually the video we put in this in this apocalyptic scenario. But Born to Kill contains like a huge and dark conspiracy after the First World War happening in Germany, when dark forces, and we were a democracy in Weimar Republic, they were building up a shadow army behind, behind the politicians had no clue that what was going on. They even trained people in Russia, and they were building up air force and stuff like that. And this is about that, and the consequence, if you see history, a part of that was also the SA and other militant right-wing forces as well. If you see what came out with at the end, then you know the result. Was a disaster. And also a big part was that it all could happen because powerful people or aristocrats, they didn't like the change of into a democracy, so they will wanted to overtake the system again and gaining their power. And that's actually also part of the Okkult trilogy. Is like, if people having power, they mostly abuse it, and that's a big problem. You see it nowadays. And also the thing that people are getting manipulated by fear from whatever political system you are living, or in religion too. That is fear, and people get controlled by that.
Right, okay, and then you got the next song, Bleeding for Blasphemy. Sounds like a Morbid Angel song.
Okay, the thing is, that is actually about the Templars themselves. When they were going out in the Crusades, they were killing in the name of God and against the Muslim people. But in fact, they got destroyed by the Christians themselves, or the people they were serving to. And this is also a big conspiracy. When they got powerful, there were forces in politics again. It was the French king and in the Pope himself who want to get rid of them. So the interesting part is here, the Grandmaster of the Templars was cursing both French king and the Pope, and they had also a horrible death themselves, the Templars, but the curse worked as well, so to say, because they their opponents, enemies, also had to suffer at the end.
All right, then you got the Priest of Plague.
That is also interesting. A German a legend about a priest who killed someone and had to flee into forests in Bohemian forests and into the mountains to hide for many years. Then they got him back, and the deal was he could work as a priest again in a village or small town when they were having the pestilence going on, and they said, okay, you can be the priest of that village, and it will be in God's hand if you're going to survive. He survived the pandemic, but he got a stroke in church later. So you can pick what was the God's ordeal with that.
Okay, then you got the next song, Malicious Succubus, with 2 Ks again instead of 2 Cs. Very catchy,
Yeah,
that you
because
put the
in
2
German,
Ks. Yeah.
yeah, in German it's also succubus. It's the same with 2 Ks.
Yeah. I mean, that song features Elena, doesn't it, and Zoe from Leaves Eyes, and also Cradle of Filth. How did you hook up with Cradle of Filth singer for that one?
Yeah. Okay. The song, first of all, is another thing, as you know, in religion, the devil woman, or when a man was falling apart, so to say, and leaving his own wife and all that, it was always the devil woman's fault. Yeah. And it could put the blame on that. But yeah, they really believed that a succubus would go out and using men to reproduce half demons, to build an army of half demons for the devil, so to say. And that was like the Christian belief behind. And the thing is, that was a perfect match when Zoe, I produced also a band, Catalyst Crime, and I was also filming Chasing the Ghost video with her. So we were talking about it, and I thought like it would be great to have a female growling voice in there as well in the song. And so she was becoming guest singer. And the interesting part was like Jonah is like the keyboardist or keyboarder from Catalyst Crime, heard about it and was like, oh, I heard there's such a great song, Malicious Succubus. I also want to be on the Atrocity album. So he joined as well. And with Elena was also interesting because she has, of course, this very atmospheric part with her vocal, and it's really a great style how she sings there in the intro of the song. But she was also doing all the devil voices or demonic female voices in the background. So that's also very, very cool. And I asked her if she would be up for that. And yeah, it's really great.
So you got the next song, Lycanophobia.
That is a German werewolf legend, actually. It's very bizarre because that guy was going around almost 25 years or so. And there was a court case. And interesting is like he had like also helping hands. I think it was his daughter, although he killed his own son. It's a very confusing serial killer story again. And I think it was his wife as well, helping out somehow to cover up the insanity of that person. He was a farmer guy, I think, and dressed up as a werewolf. And he said he has like a magic girdle from the devil. They made a deal that he could do whatever he wants to, having the power as a werewolf. And there was a court case with that, ending not in a good way for the guy, and I think his partners in crime. So I think an Englishman actually put the original scripts somewhere in a museum in London, if I'm right about it. So it's interesting that they wanted also to cover up again, and the best is to forget about this case somehow. But you know, that person was thinking he is a werewolf. He was really believing that, and would go out and kill people. That's crazy.
Then you got the next song, Faces from Beyond.
That is something. In the 80s, I remember I saw a documentary about that person, Klaus Schreiber, and he actually was the guy who formed the whole movement. It's worldwide going on. You know, movie like Poltergeist,
yeah.
When you sit in front of the screen, and then they get connection with the other side, and with you know, with the dead, and also with the bad side as well. So that guy was doing that for real. That's the inspiration, I think, because he started to, with modern technology, to get in contact with deceased souls, actually his family, with, you know, with tapes, these old tape machines. They were all, not back then, they were not so old, but anyway, with tape machines, they were recording like voices from beyond. So they were asking questions, they were recording, nobody hears anything, but it was on tape. There was also that guy who told everyone he got messages, and they told him that he could also see the ghosts via technology with a camera. And actually it's like a thing, there were scientists trying to test out what the guy is doing, but they couldn't find a solution. They said it's out of their hands, like that, if you have a good fantasy to see that, right? And this is all done by you have to see, you can research on the internet. It's called transmigration. So you can find images of that, how they try to get in contact with the dead with that technology.
Right.
And
okay.
Yeah, that is a song about this. It's transcommunication is like the overall topic, and people can have a look, and maybe it's interesting. So that was the song Faces from Beyond.
Okay, and the next song, is it Krapaka?
Supka, you mean Supka?
Sorry?
Supka.
Is that how you pronounce it right? Sorry.
Yeah, that is a song about serial killer Josef Zipek. There's also interesting story behind that, because you know that I do Viking and you know, living history and Viking reenactment, sword fighting. A friend of mine, Igor Gorevich, who is also on the song, is also a metal fan, and also has his metal history as being in videos of Amon Amarth, Creator, Sabaton, and so forth, working together with as an actor and also stunt advisor for movies. He's a book author, also having a black metal band. So a lot about him, and he's a very good friend of mine, and he's leader of the Jomsborg Eastorm. Jomsborg Viking army I'm in. It's the biggest modern Viking army. So I was visiting him with my son Leon. We were visiting his family, and in Poland, in Stettin. And you have to know, my grandfather was policeman in Stettin when it was still German. And my grandfather died in the Second World War, so was fallen. So I never met him. But Igor showed me around in the city and showed me in Stettin. This was the police headquarters where your grandfather was working, and so forth. So we had a nice sightseeing there. And at the end, he told me, well, I have maybe an obscure story for you to tell about Josef Zipek, who was a nasty, very evil serial killer back in the 50s. They got him. but he probably did crimes before that. So might be my grandfather was also they were checking or searching for a guy because there were murders going on, and the guy was hiding them in a lake, which is just around the corner from Igor's house. And he showed me the places too. He said, "Hey, that would be an idea for Okkult 3 song." I said, "I'm pretty sure I write about that." And the thing is, it's so obscure. The guy, he was selling the flesh of his victims to the butchers in town, and they made sausages. So when everything came out,
well, that's it for me, Alex. I'm never eating a frankfurter in Germany ever again.
yeah, that I think that was a big shock in the city as well. So that was something. It's so unbelievable. We put on the album as well.
Right.
Yeah, it's one of these dark side of humanity, obscure stories. It can go worse than that.
Okay then, Alex, so we're going to talk about the last song. How do you pronounce the last song and what does it mean in English?
Teufelsmarsch, yeah. It's the Devil's March. And actually the song is about the apocalypse. In a way, like, you know, when military action's going on or war is going on, that is like also like kind of picture what you can have in mind. It's not only like written in the Bible, so to say, but it's like that's why we have this marching song in as the intro as well. It's like, you know, apocalyptic vision. That's maybe the best description of it all. And of course, in the way like you would expect it. Of course, also from the dark visions you have in religion too. Yeah, but I think if you see the atrocities and the cruelties going on nowadays everywhere in the world, you know, mankind has learned nothing of history, nothing.
No. History repeats itself, kind of.
Yeah, that is exactly what I think as well. It comes back in waves, so to say, you know, and if you go back like 100 years ago, we're almost in the same situation, right? Yeah, it's crazy. Also with the crisis with money, you know, the crisis with energy, and of course, like all this corruption going on. You don't have to be a conspiracy theorist to see that there's a lot of things going wrong, and you know, it's always the wrong people are in charge or in power, which can control a lot of this situation to their advantage. And that is the thing. At the end, people have to decide themselves if this can go on like that forever.